So when you want to do Eureka Orthos?
That's a good question. Also, just a heads up, my mic is still hot, so just letting you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see.
I dipped into it a little bit solo. It did not go well.
It's
because I don't have any
so rough.
Aetherpool.
Oh my goodness, it is so hard solo. Like, it's okay. So doing it as Paladin is just like Paladin at level, what was it, 80? At level 80 just does not have sustain because at like 81 is when they unlock Holy Sheltron. And that's when they actually get the ability. Hey, Will, thanks for that, right? That's when they actually get like some amount of like, okay, I can like do a mitigation and a regen and stuff all at once, and it's like the renewable just do combat resource. But it's just like that first level, just getting to 82 is so hard. Or getting to 81, and then it's just like after the first couple levels it gets a lot easier. So it's like those first 10 floors, it's like the first 3 floors are just like, oh god, and then it's just like it kind of gets easier, but then like the enemies just good lord, like they are fully expecting that you have done Palace of the Dead in full before going into your
I haven't done all of Palace of the Dead. I've gotten to floor 100 for the story bits because I just haven't gotten anything past 100. And I've tried to solo Heaven on High. I haven't tried soloing Palace of the Dead yet. Heaven on High, I think I got up to like the 70s or 80s last time I tried that. And that was like as far as I got for my solo run. And then I dipped into Eureka Orthos mainly because I saw that in one of the silver trim sacks or whatever in Eureka Orthos, there's a triple triad card.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh no. I was like, no, is my pain not enough?
At least it's not one you need for the mount, right?
Yeah, I got the mount. The mount's done because the mount's only all the cards up through Shadowbringers, and so like that's done. But like I just want to stay on top of it because it's just
Calvi, thanks for that.
Like so many things in this game, staying caught up makes it easier to stay caught up. So like if they add any other achievement related stuff in the future, it's just like so much easier to just stay there and I don't have to like go back and do stuff. It's also another reason I like playing thoroughly through this game because it's like pretty much by the time I'm done with an expansion, I've done everything in that expansion. So there's like I don't have to like years later like feel like I have to go back and do something that I haven't done before.
Yeah. No, I definitely had like before Endwalker dropped, I was trying to wrap up like all the side quests, and turns out that takes a while. So I only got through Heaven's Word, and like it took me until Dawn Trail's about to come out. I guess I'll finally get around to doing all of the Stormblood side quests. But and then like that and the Shadowbringers ones, and then it's like during Endwalker, I did all the side quests along the way, and just like this is just a better experience. Like it's just such a nicer time because it's like you're not having to like do any of the weird time translation nonsense of just like, oh yeah, dragons are still bad right now. Oh yeah, we're in the middle of this war, or any of that. And it's just like it's nice getting resolution to characters that you know you remember who they are. And it's like, oh yeah, I am actually really interested in seeing what happens with you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. I pretty much ignored the side quests throughout A Realm Reborn. I did a handful of them. I remember it's like the first like major side quest that I was actually like told like, hey, go do that was the post Moogle stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that in A Realm Reborn, and I maybe did a handful of others along the way. But I pretty much ignored them. So I still have a good chunk of those to do. But I pretty much started doing the side quests alongside MSQ with Heaven's Word, which I'm really glad I did that because a lot of those are like, hey, go kill some dragons because dragons are bad. And it's like, oh, this would be weird to do later. So, but yeah, it's been really good. And I also really love how I think my favorite side quests to MSQ comparison is doing them alongside Stormblood. because you get to essentially reconnect all those communities that the Empire intentionally split apart to like keep them fragmented, and that just feels so good to do that. It feels so rewarding. And then that even like plays into like the later stuff, like in the Domicide, reconnecting on those communities and seeing how they like band together to fight against the Empire. So it's so good.
Oh, Jesse, feel free to hop back in. Yeah, my stream's still going, so yeah, feel free to hop in and discuss things if you want. I'm just kind of winding down. Now, one of these days, I want to go back to. Yeah, feel free to, Lex. I want to go back to like Eureka and do more of that for some reason. I think like
Hi, Lex.
I love Eureka. So if you're ever hopping in to Eureka, just let me know. I'll come in and join you.
Yeah, I've done my time in Bajja, so
I was gonna say
I like so many ideas of Bajja. I just don't like how it's tuned.
Yeah.
Like combat wise, I feel like there's too many instances of like, oh, there's this split second mechanic that you didn't see and you get caught in it because it happened in 2 seconds and you're new here and now you're just dead.
Yeah.
What?
It's
You mean
like-
you don't like having to figure out all of the mechanics in a 5-second interval and then name what number you're going to?
Like,
I mean-
obviously, the most egregious example of this is the red chocobo
Oh yeah.
thing.
Oh, but
yeah.
That one
I
is
will
the
give-
worst.
The
I
red
will give
chocobo-
Red Chocobo credit.
Yeah, the Red
If you
Chocobo
are
gets a
caught
pass
up
from
on
me
the lore-
for Final Fantasy Tactics. But that's
Yeah,
it.
if you are aware that Red Chocobos are in fact disastrously dangerous in every other Final Fantasy game,
Yeah.
maybe you know that the
I
Red
am
Chocobo's gonna
aware-
murder you.
That it's like one of the only creatures that can cast meteor. It's just like
Exactly. If you are already aware of this,
No, like I know
It's
when
okay.
when I was doing like the Evil East raids and like there's at some point some red chocobos show up and it was just like, oh god, no.
oh
yeah.
Just heart
Yeah.
stopped fear of God has been put back in me.
yes.
I would love to see a chaotic version of anything past that
Oh,
because,
man.
like, if you think about it, like now that Crystal Tower is confirmed to be a chaotic, so harder version,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to see how they're going to translate that to the Void Arc series because let's be real, people still wipe in Void Arc
Mhm.
in this very
Yeah.
to this very day.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like there are still people who wipe in Crystal Towers, but like everyone just like honestly, people just ignore mechanics and think they can get past it. And then
You
just
only
like, oh,
see
why
like
did
a
why did
third
we
of
wipe?
any given fight in Crystal Tower, basically.
Yeah,
So one
it's
thing,
like a lot of people don't remember it.
One thing for the chaotics is, I guess, there was a line that Yoshi P said. It's like, we have only planned for this one chaotic right now, and depending on feedback, we will add more in the future. So they've
Yeah,
kind of
do
like
it.
baked in, like, if people don't like this, we're not doing more.
Please, I welcome it because it
I
kind
am
of
into it.
it gives people some humble juice. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
like seriously, like Crystal Tower is like, yeah, it's a joke because all of our gears are above
Oh,
the
yeah.
eye level set at the
Yeah.
time, plus our stats were boosted above and beyond that. So it's like, why
Mhm.
couldn't they just scale the Crystal Tower to the stats that they could? But
Yeah.
I mean, this is fine too. But at the same time, you're going to be running with like, for example, since I'm on Aether, a lot of tryhards were just
Yeah.
going to like downright just
Get mad.
degrade people who
Oh,
would,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
want to quote try hard or even better yet try to cheese strats because it's Crystal Tower. It shouldn't hurt.
One
know,
of my biggest things
Mhm.
about playing Final Fantasy versus, like, I used to come from WoW, is WoW just dumped all of their old shit. Like, if there was an
Yeah.
old raid, you don't go back and you fight the Lich King and he's actually worthwhile fighting again. He's just a joke. You just knock him over and it's not a matter, not even important or
Mhm.
hard. And I actually love that Final Fantasy keeps going back and actually bringing back
Yeah.
these things. So, like, the fact
Mhm.
that they're doing chaotics just absolutely is practically why I play this game over WoW these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I like going back and doing old stuff. Like, I could help out people by doing so and feel motivated to do so, not just because I want to help, but because I can.
And because it's still a challenge. Like, yeah.
To some extent, yes. But at the same time, it's also like, the challenge is, to me, since I've played since, 2.5, I've seen like the changes that 14 has gone through in terms of people and community. Like, it wasn't all this like try hardness when I first started. It was just like another MMO, like any other one. But
I feel like the try hardness is more MMO than
yeah, it started growing, honestly, ever since Shadowbringer and Endwalker. Like, I think there was someone that was making an argument about how like Endwalker, Shadowbringer era of 14 brought about the change of 14, like the whole toxic positivity argument, the try hardness, I guess. But honestly, it's been around. Like, I remember when freaking, what was it, when Alexander Ray dropped, I had a lot of people like who I used to go to college with, like, would just literally skip school to do this because they were like,
dang.
oh, my raid friends are in Japan, and I'm like,
oh,
but you're skipping class. And they're like, but I have to, otherwise they'll kick me out of the party. And I was like, but why though?
yeah.
I can understand that only because it came from WoW, and only because trying to get together 24 other people at one given point in time is incredibly difficult. And if you weren't there on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock or whatever,
yeah,
we ain't waiting for you. Sorry.
Exactly. Oh.
Yeah, that's
But, like, the
it's like I
juice is
want to
great.
do the chaotic raid stuff, but it's like I can't even get like 4 people together half the time.
Yeah, it'll definitely be like get as many people as I can, and I do have the benefit of being in the play frame adjacent Discord free company, so I have a lot of people to pull from. But even then, I can't always get that many people. But essentially just pulling in as many as I can and then just putting up a party finder and filling the rest.
I think it might just be like Baja and Eureka with Bardosian Arsenal, where they're just going to queue people in when you just queue in.
Yeah.
But we've seen that they've done that for, Zadnor. Was it not Zadnor? Delubrium.
Yeah.
You know, like you just queue in and there's just 24 people who show up. I think it's going to be like that. Otherwise, it's going to really skewer the entire queue system that they already have.
They could do it like ocean fishing. Show up at the even hour.
That would actually be that'd probably be a great way to do it.
Actually,
that would be fun. Now, I will admit, the ocean fishing is kind of met at like 4 a.m, but
Right. Yeah, the other thing about I know it's like DRN through whatever it is, for that it's like it puts you in a 10-minute queue, and then if you don't fill to full 24 people within that queue, it just throws you in with however many you have.
Yeah, that's the ocean
and
fishing.
It'll scale it.
And then it scales it. So yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how they handle the chaotic stuff.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting if you end up in a one-person raid of chaotic Crystal Tower.
I don't know. Like I was there when Crystal Tower first dropped. I was like, wow, Final Fantasy 3 and my Final Fantasy 14 game? Cool. But I was also the same person who had to deal with mechanics, and now like completely not seeing it anymore. Just kind of bums me out just a little bit, because it's like, wow, I want to see how people manage these mechanics in today's era. But no, you don't see people getting time gated. You don't see people actually wiping to the elements. It's like, no one does that anymore.
I know I've had like a really bad run of like World of Darkness on Cloud of Darkness. It's like we almost saw the worms. It's like, the worms? What are the worms? It's just like, I've still never seen that mechanic. I've almost seen that mechanic.
But in my free company, we did a 12-man run of the Crystal Tower raids, specifically to see the worms, because doing it mid-item level still you still kind of like rush through the fight with 24 people.
You need silence echo. Actually, it's the echo that actually gets you. You need your mid-item level and
we did that. Yeah, we did that, and it's still.
Didn't see it.
that's why we ran it as a 12-person group instead of a 24-man group.
Okay.
And even then, we still had to intentionally hold DPS because the intent was to see the worms. That's all we wanted. And so we still had to hold DPS with 12 people to see the worms.
Oh, worm?
Yeah. Like the little Cheeto worms that come up out of the ground. Like, I still don't even remember what they do. And then we did it. We did other 12-mans with the other ones. So there's that like middle boss in Circus Tower that has those Magitech bits.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. The time
that you have to
time
like
machine.
block.
Yeah. You have
Yeah.
to block, and you have to jump the platforms in case it blows up the platform. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
For that one too, we also had to like hold DPS to get to the part where we had to do those mechanics.
Wow.
And so they're just like even with like, I think they were just tuned really low default, because I think I've seen people who said like they played it when it was like current, and even then they would skip the jumping platform stuff for that guy.
Not all the time. Not all the
Yeah.
time. They were unlucky, and half of the group gets caught in the time machine. They do die, so it's possible. But you know, I ran it with I ran it only 3 times, and then I basically took a break from the game. But that was it.
Yeah.
Oh man, talking about 14 gives me like nostalgic memories of like what things happened and how things were and how things evolved. And I feel like I'm happy with the way I viewed like the game of 14, like my evolution of viewing it. Because originally I played because my college friend was like, "Hey Jess, I have like this game I want to tell you about. Do you like Final Fantasy?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I love Final Fantasy." And they're like, "Oh, there's a new MMO version." I was like, what? And they were like, "Yeah, it's an MMO version of Final Fantasy." I was like, "Cool. Do I have to pay for it?" And they're like, "Oh, there's a free trial for a week." I was like, "Sure, if it's just for a week, I guess I can play it." And I did. It was during the time when 14 only had a 1-week trial, free trial.
Yeah.
I played it that time too.
Oh my gosh. And I still had the screenshot. I still had the screenshot of me getting the Heavensward benchmark too. It's amazing how much I still have like retained in screenshots, even though the laptop I actually had the game on is no longer with me. But just all those memories, just like, oh yeah. And then I remember playing it after class. I would just log in, get some MSQ done. Back when every single quest was still there and none of them was removed. I remember like talking to the pirates. I remember handling like wine and grape juice to the guy twice instead of once.
Oh my god, yes.
I was like, this guy is pissing me off. But then I learned like afterwards, so I was like, okay, I get it. But it's like, why did I have to do like this 3 times? But whatever. It's in the past. And then because Dragoon wasn't exactly a initial starting class, most of my starting class started at a bard or an archer, because you had to play as an archer and then a monk to unlock Dragoon.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I want to do bard. I will do bard. I'll do bard. I want Dragoon. Let me do bard. I was like, I don't want to touch monk. Ugh. And then I remember fondly of playing archer, because when I finally got to level 20, I was like, oh, finally I can do more things. And then the TP system kicked in, and yeah, I was like,
I never dealt with TP, but I have watched the Alexander song about TP, like the YouTube thing where they wrote a song about it.
Yeah, they did.
To be fair, on the trial, I never got past level 20 because that's when you hit Satasha, and then they were like, "Okay, now you have to play with other people," and I was like, "No, I don't play with other people."
I was like, "No, I have one." I remember because my straight shot wasn't even called straight shot back then; it was something else. I can't remember anymore, but it was before the days of half of the toolbar bard didn't exist. Kind of situation, or half of Archer's abilities were changed since like 2.5.
My carbuncle was actually something I had to control and did actually.
Yes! Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you had stance, healer stance, cleric, and was it cleric and
there was a tank stance.
I do miss stance dancing as paladin. Like I did get to experience a little bit of that. I started playing in Stormblood, so like kind of, I feel like Stormblood was kind of like the height of mechanics. Like,
that's true. 4.4 is when they took it all away, though.
Yeah,
but,
it was like,
yes.
Stormblood had just a lot going on, and like a lot of that was kind of interesting, but also like I'm kind of glad with what they've done since. But anyway, like I do remember of like doing certain trials, and it's like, okay, I want to output just a smidge more damage as a paladin. Let me put on sword stance so my autos hit a little harder.
And the only problem with Carbuncle, I remember watching other people do it around me, was that you actually had to command it to move places while doing DPS.
Yeah,
like your Carbuncle
that was the big issue.
Like, and it was before the days where you would have it follow you, and then if you had to attack first or defend first, it would have different stance on, and then Eos and Selene were two different types of stance, if you will, and then I was like,
and like at first there was a difference between having a Topaz Carbuncle and having like they actually did different things, the different colors of carbuncles, and so I always wanted the Topaz one out because it was a tank, and I'm not, I'm the sort of person who's like, no, my pet's gonna tank for me. But yeah, I did come from Lich King at the time, which also had a fair bit of pet management.
I'm so excited for Beastmaster because it might have some more of that.
Oh, I am too.
Are we allowed to talk about a little bit of Dawntrail spoilers?
Let me just.
Kurt?
Well, I know they're level 100, but doesn't
I'm
mean
still an Endwalker. But
what?
I'm still an Endwalker, but I've seen stuff about Dawntrail. I haven't seen a ton, but if you want, I'm fine.
I'm not going to go too much into it, but we know Aaronville at least. And
I know him. Yeah,
you know that Aaronville is going to be in Dawntrail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to say I hope Aaronville is the mentor.
That'd be
Beastmaster, because he sucks at combat. We already know that. Homeboy's too much of a book boy to go combat fighting.
Okay.
So he's going to utilize his expertise in the field to be training them for combat.
Counterpoint, I really like having a gatherer class as one of the party members, because going out trading with like a freaking bot, or like having a botanist in the party, I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
I would like to have more of that, but all of our friends are combat based if you think about it, because that's kind of what we are. We're sellswords in most of the MSQ for all we know. And as an adventurer, we're known to be combat, but then the game does nod at you if you do like artisan stuff. Like, for example, when I got into Endwalker, because I was an Omnicrafter at the time, they're like, oh yeah, you're that one person we've heard so much about. And it's like, oh, we've had your wares and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you. Yes, I am acknowledged.
I love that too. I love Yeah. Anytime they give a nod out to the other things I've done in the game, you know. There's I think a point where if you do Hildebrand, I think Hancock refers to you as the stealer of pants.
Yeah.
And I thought that one was amazing because he was like, among your titles, stealer of pants? I was like, don't ask. Don't ask.
I think probably would not enjoy that name.
I think one of the things a lot of people think Beastmaster is going to be tied to is the Bozja NPCs who are Beastmasters.
Yes, they are.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So they'll either be some kind of like, a lot of people want them to be the mentors. My guess is they'll be a part of like the quest in some way, but I don't know if they'll be the actual mentors or not.
I don't think they would be, because although the Empire has technically fallen, we haven't actually acclaimed them to be part of our allegiance, if you will. They're still, when we left them off in the Bozja storyline, they were still part of the Empire.
Yeah. Well, you kind of get the weird thing about Bozja is that the end of Bozja is in the text lore.
Yeah.
Because they I guess there was just COVID hit that production stuff hard. And so they ended it in a lore dump where it's kind of fell apart. The one guy, the leader, died, and then the other people just left.
Yes, so they actually sprinkled it in Endwalker, with Lucia talking about it, which makes more sense if you did Bozja, but if you didn't, you would still be like, huh?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. So, for for context, in Bastia, you meet most of the 10th and the 1st Legion, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they actually talked about when you do Bastia. I don't know if you didn't do Bastia, it would not show up. I haven't seen Will's stream because I know he didn't do Bastia. But if he didn't, then it would just serve as extra flavor text. But because of that, you're just kind of like, what's going on? Like, where do they go? It's like, oh yeah, they saw us after we beat them up. It's like, oh, so that's what happened to them. Cool.
Yeah, that section has a lot of really interesting like optional and dialogue changes depending on. There's so much stuff. It's like if you didn't get White Mage to this level, if you didn't get Monk to this level, if you didn't Bard over here,
I don't think
like
you need to get that high of a level. My monk was level 10, and I think I got the monk trainer in the.
Yeah, so I think the monk one is tied to pugilist, so you have to get like to pugilist level 30.
I don't think so. I think it's like level 10 because I was not a high pugilist when I finished Endwalker.
But
yeah, it's like something like that.
For me, for the scholar one, because I didn't finish it, I got to level 60, I think, during Endwalker. There was Black Mage. I had Black Mage to level 30, but they didn't acknowledge me. They're just like, oh, you're here too. So it's like a difference of like level. There might be like, oh, when you unlock it, you get a certain level. When you're actually a Black Mage, you get another tier level. Because like I saw the majority of my mentors. Yeah, it is weird, but it makes it a lot more harder.
Was Black Mage there? I don't even remember the Black Mage being there.
There were Thaumaturge people there.
Yeah, Thaumaturge.
I should have been maxed out in Black Mage.
There were the Kokofu, I think his name was there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think. Okay. Maybe I remember him.
Because they ended up helping out with the artillery stuff when we were I shouldn't say invading. We weren't invading. We were entering. We knocked on the doors. We're helping out. Yeah, casually. But yeah, I thought that scene in that entire scene in Endwalker was really cool because I was like, oh hey, I got to talk to people I haven't seen in forever. Like they have extra flavor text.
And then it was cool.
Amazingly enough, if you actually revisit them after the whole final day situation, they actually have extra text about like, oh, what are we doing now? Like, ever since the final days,
funnily enough, they have optional text after, but they also have optional text during. A lot of the NPCs who are part of the Ilsebird contingent, if you leave Ilsebird during that section of the game, they'll still be in their normal spots back in like their guild halls. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I got some leave. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. I think the ones that I like the most is the steppe, the people from the steppes, Sirina and Sadu and Magnai. They don't have dialogue during it, but they do have dialogue afterwards, and I really like their dialogue afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did like the idea of them bringing them back, but at the same time, like, but why though?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's okay. People like Little Sun. Let's just go with it.
I like him there to be dunked on.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also want him to get with the most like. I really do want him to end up with someone just so I can see like what type of writing they would. But honestly, knowing 14's writing style, they would never write a couple like that. You know, they really haven't written a good couple character unless you do like relics. But I won't talk about them because it might be potential spoilers.
Those guys are cute though.
It is, cute. But it's like it's the only couple.
The Endwalker crafting,
and the only reason it
so good.
It is. I haven't seen it yet, but I know what happens, and I'm just like, I'm waiting to finish up my relics so I can actually see the ending.
Good.
It's so cute, but at the same time, they can't be the only married couple in the game.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I think the only time I've seen them, it might have just been me like reading too much into it, but I'm pretty sure the only like confirmed queer couple is the random adventurer treasure hunters that you see from Wanderer's Palace Hard.
Oh yeah, they are. They are
just like
they're confirmed for sure. They actually say it, I think.
Although I I know this is something that Will is gonna rag on, but I love the fact that if you go back and play like AOR from the beginning, you see the people who are in the background of like the Waking Sands, and you see
Mm.
where you met them. Like you met like
And it turns out
Alania
our involvement was there the
and-
entire time, and you just didn't realize it.
yeah.
Like I had a thing
Okay,
too.
but Erenvold being there, okay, yeah, that's fine. Alania and her dad are there when you go to Satasha.
Mm.
They are
Yeah.
outside Satasha,
Mhm.
and they're just like, "Oh, hi, who are you?" And you talk to them, and then they go and show up at the Waking Sand.
Mhm.
It is incredible to me that that's just a thing that was just there.
Yeah. I
Like,
missed them on my walk into Sestasha, but I got them every other time because they're like there for like all the.
I saw the
Yeah.
Copper Bell Mine.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah,
Copper
they-
Bell Mine. That was all me. That was it.
But yeah, they were there from like the very first dungeon you go into, and I was like, "Oh, hi."
Same with Real. Actually, you actually find him at Limsum Levinsa, I think, like just at the
Oh, okay, yeah.
the
yeah.
Drowning Wrench, I think.
Yeah,
And
he's
you don't
one of like
notice
the
him.
company of hero people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you actually didn't
I know
notice him
him
until later.
I did notice him at Titan, but on the
Well,
on the
yeah.
second playthrough. But yeah.
It's so cool how they incorporate just so many of these like side characters into the game, like thoroughly incorporate them. Like,
Like they have real stories and real arcs, even though you
Mhm.
may never actually notice this character exists.
Yep.
yeah,
It's an investment if you think about it.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's just nice of
And
just
I
like,
love
hey, this character exists. Why don't we use them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I
But-
feel like I feel like since they shifted like teams of like because Square Enix, or sorry, I should specifically say Creative Business 3. Is that CB3?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
They often shift teams and like come in and out of like writing and like developing and all that stuff. I feel like the shift since Endwalker to Dawn Trail, a lot of characters are being more utilized, but also some are being, because they said specifically Dawn Trail is going to be like a new starting point
Yeah,
that they can't utilize
Yeah.
it, that I feel like I see why they have a new team going on, but I also see like they underutilize a lot of potential.
yeah.
But that makes sense going forward with the idea that they were intending. So I had to put that in my pocket when I went through Dawn Trail. So with that, just I would say, Kirk, when you're going through it, just go in with an open mind.
Oh yeah.
Because like
Mhm.
it'll like,
You're
'cause I
still on
I forgot.
vacation. You
Yes,
are
yeah.
on
yes.
vacation
Yes,
mode.
you are on vacation. Now remember that.
There is
I mean, I,
there are points where you will be like, why did my character not pick up on this sooner? Just be like,
uh-huh.
I wonder if anyone else has noticed that something's wrong yet. No? Well, we'll just sit here and
No.
wait until someone figures it out. I've got a Mai Tai going.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Gosh,
But
I
yeah,
love the way
I-
they render the fog now.
Yes, that's true. I ever since
Whoa,
Earth Charlene's the
that's-
best way to find it because it's more foggier there more often. And if you actually go to a higher tier, like if you go to the studium and look down, you can actually see it going, like the fog actually going downwards, not upwards. So I was like, yeah, that's real fog right there.
Yeah.
Have you done the Alliance raid though?
I haven't started the Alliance raid. I haven't started it mainly because I'm waiting on a friend who hasn't started the 6.1 MSQ yet, and you have to do 6.1 MSQ to unlock the Alliance raid.
Okay.
And I'm also waiting because I'm trying to organize a minimum item level run of it. Because I've heard, at least for the first one gets hard by level scaling really bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you can start
Um,
skipping mechanics pretty hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I've heard it. I don't know. I feel like it's a mix, but I don't remember exactly what people said when they suggested it. But it's like either some fun mechanics get skipped, or some specific like
Yes.
story stuff gets skipped over.
Not story.
Okay.
Mechanics. It's mechanics.
Okay. Because I know like
Um,
sometimes you can obviously skip over like the dialogue that bosses will have or something, but
Not
I don't.
all
The
the time.
Alliance raids are so much fun in Endwalker, though. I love them.
Mhm. They have
But
really
I'm
interesting
excited to get
mechanics.
there. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard they're fun.
But I will mention for the second wing, not like as like an offhand thing, I need you to be careful because some of the ads are a lot easier.
Yes.
Yeah, they made ads easier as compared to like near raids.
Gotcha.
Because like near ads are kind of difficult and tricky because they're more sparse and spread out.
Yeah. I really like the near raids.
Yeah, I hope they make. I honestly I enjoy it when like the development team make raids fun because it makes the time fly faster.
I enjoy the new raids. They're fun, but it's like it does feel like every time I get into one, it's just like, okay, this is the next hour of my life, and
yeah.
Yeah,
The bosses
I
do have a ton of HP.
yeah, stuff just takes way too long to follow.
And people die to it, so I kind of like that. I mean, no, I don't like being there for 2 hours or an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I'm like,
I really,
I'm already I committed. I set enough time to do this, and I've committed to it.
like I really just wish they would take Crystal Tower and break it off from the Alliance raid roulette, because it's like Alliance. You roll Alliance raid, you get into Crystal Tower. It's like, okay, this is 15 minutes. Anything else for the most part, it's like, okay, this is the next hour. It's like, I just kind of wish that time commitment was
either go back and manually tune everything to be better, but like manually tune Crystal Tower up so that it's a little bit beefier. And then maybe like just reduce the near boss health by like 5%.
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine. I honestly, I really like the difficulty of the near raids, but I also like, I like the simplicity of the Void Arc raid too. But at the same time,
I think the Void Arc raids honestly hit like a really like they're solid. Like they are solid little raids.
Yeah, I think I honestly I also really found that the Ivalice raids strike me in the nice like nostalgic mode because I love tactics.
Yeah.
Even though I never played the game, I just like watching because the story was really fun to watch and watch other people play through, and seeing all those characters again, even though they're not the same person, obviously. I'm like, oh man, like this is what it would be like, and it hits me in the Final Fantasy like
right in the bones.
Yeah, and then a little nostalgic bone, just like a little nudge, and it's like it's nice seeing it. I just feel like the raid is so hard though.
I really love the Ivalice raids. I think like honestly, Ivalice raids are my favorite to run. Like I think
I'm always excited when I get them in roulettes.
Yeah, it's always like
I'm always
I always like to see Crystal Tower in roulettes just because it's like, okay, cool, 15 minutes, we're done. And I don't know, I kind of treat Crystal Tower as like Mario Kart. So it's just like, all right, we've got Crystal Tower, and it's just trying to speed run it basically. But then like, you know, Void Arc is like, okay, this could be interesting. Either it's gonna go super smooth or things are gonna go right to heck and we'll have fun either way. Ivalice is always just like, okay, this is just like mechanically interesting fun times. Near again, like I feel like it's I'm with Kurt on just like 5% off the boss's health, and I think I'd be happier. Just like the fights go on just a little bit too long for my taste. But otherwise,
especially with how easy it is to wipe on some of those fights.
Yeah.
They are, but I find
they're fun. Wipe. Like they are really fun fights. It's just like they just go on just that little bit too long for my taste, and then I don't know. I guess it hasn't come up enough in you know running roulettes for the Endwalker raids for me to like fully form my opinion on those.
I've mostly gotten the Endwalker raids when I haven't gotten Crystal Towers, so I don't know. I enjoy them though. The music slaps. The music is so good in the Endwalker raids.
Oh yeah, the Endwalker raids are definitely slaps, especially if you had played the game that it's referring to. So nice, so nice.
But also like, no, I can't. There's too many spoilers. I can't say anything without being spoilers. But I love those raids. They're all spoilers, and they are so good. Play them.
I think they're mechanically interesting.
Yeah, they are.
They're mechanically interesting. It's just like I haven't done that like I've run this too many times sorts of things
Yeah.
with those raids.
Mhm.
To like have that like solidified like, okay, now that I've run this too much, how do I feel about it?
Yeah.
For
Whereas
the savage rates, though, they're a whole different breed for this one. Although, challenges speaking, I think the Eden Savages are a little bit more mechanically interesting. The mechanically interesting parts in Panda Raids Savage are just the boss, like the
I've-
4, 8, and 12.
Yeah, I've only like started like I've always wanted to get into a Savage group, and like for a little bit I did with some people in the Play Friends server.
Mhm.
I would love to join it just so you guys like. I want to
But-
see how I want to go through it again.
Like ultimately the vibe was just a little bit off, and I wasn't
Yeah.
like quite, it was like
Aw.
I'm showing up and I'm just not having fun doing this.
Right. Yeah.
Aw.
And if you're
it's
not having fun,
everybody there was like super nice. It was just like, something about the vibe just wasn't gelling with me, and it's like,
yeah,
it's unfortunate, but like
it's
we
like
ran,
a D&D group,
Yeah,
basically. It's like,
ran it for like
don't
3
vibe with
weeks, and it was just like, this is a fun fight, but also just like, I don't know, some of the design felt mean-spirited, I guess, of like,
Yeah.
oh, you wanna be a tank that uses your invuln to get through like this tank swap or something? No, you can't. There's a giant mega bleed, and also if you
Yeah.
get hit by the next attack, you're dead. Even
do
if
you
you're
remember
invuln.
which raid you were doing?
That was just P1S.
Okay.
So yeah.
oh wait, are you talking about Intemperance?
Barbie?
No, the mechanic's called Intemperance. Is where
I have no idea what the mechanic was called.
it's okay. All right, I was just saying
It was some form of just like boss immediately comes out, starts swinging and throwing like giant dots on
Yeah.
everyone, and just
Chakrams
like,
at you.
Oh yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the Panda Savage stuff yet. I'm
no
going
worries.
through the Eden Savage stuff right now. I've
Are
done
you doing
all of the
Savage,
other ones.
Eden?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Dang.
fun. I have so I started this back when I was going through Armorborn like 3 years ago. Me and a friend put together a static for coils.
Hmm.
To run through that synced.
I need to drag Will
and-
into coils just at all.
God.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
really hoping
yes.
Will
I never
eventually
did coils,
decides.
actually.
I love
It's
every
so
time
good.
like Will is just like, hey,
It
there's
has
this thing.
some
It's
of my
like,
favorite
if we run
story.
coils.
It's like one of my
Sure.
favorite side stories in the game. It's
Coils,
really good.
Coils.
Coils is
It was
one of the few
story.
things that I did not do until after I'd beaten Endwalker, and I
Mhm.
went through it and was like, I hate that I have put this off this long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I did it in Heaven's
Poor,
Word, actually.
like, poor
Alizé
freaking
exists.
Alizé's character
Yeah.
development is just like
Mhm.
completely reset button. And I was like, it hurts. It
Yeah.
hurts. This is my favorite character. What are you doing to her?
So yeah, we went through that, and then pretty much ever since then, like we were going through coils when I started Heaven's Word, and then I was going into Stormblood when we were going through Alex, and we were going through Omega when I started Shadowbringers. And we didn't start. We took a long break between Omega and Eden, so we didn't start Eden until after I was done with Endwalker. But we just finished the E4S yesterday,
Oh, nice.
which I accidentally did on Blue Mage. Usually I do it on Monk, but I was on my Blue Mage at the time when we queued in, and I just wasn't thinking. I was just like clicking buttons because I was late. And so I went into the fight on Blue Mage, and I was like, oh no, but I did it, and it was fine. Blue Mage's burst is so busy. It's just so busy.
Did you get any new abilities? That was the real question.
No, I have
No,
all the
there
spells
isn't.
already.
Yeah.
And Eden has a few spells, but you can get them from the normal fights. You don't have to
Yeah.
do Savage for them.
Yeah, there's a ton of blue spells.
There's
I
an
need
achievement
to
for
still
doing
get.
all Blue Mage parties, but I don't think you
Yeah.
want
Some part of me
too
wants to
much.
do some of that. Blue
I've
Mage
started doing
One
it.
day.
shenanigans.
I've started
day.
doing the. So I got the Blue Mage log, which is like do this dungeon with all blues and you get a check mark. And they have like weekly targets.
Yeah.
So I've started doing those weekly targets. And right now I've got 32 out of 122 complete for those. They don't include the weekly targets, or the ones that you get a check mark for don't include like extremes or savages, but some of the extremes and savages still show up for like just like, hey, if you do this you get an extra goodie, you just don't get a check mark for it. But I really do want to try some of the savage and extreme fights with all blue groups, just because I think it'd be fun.
I think there's a
Chasing
Discord
check
server
mark.
for
I
those.
definitely wouldn't know anything about that, says the
Mhm.
person with 1,720 some odd fish.
Oh, I'm worse. I'm doing achievement hunting. I'm doing Grand Company leaves right now.
Ooh,
Oh, I started doing
there's
those.
not
I
that
think I
many of
got all the
those.
Grand
There's like
Company ones at least.
there's like only 60, which is a reasonable number.
Oh no, I'm actually trying to get the achievement for it.
Oh yeah, that's a lot
Yeah,
more
right
then.
now I'm
one?
at
Which
30 out of 100 successful command mission, which is basically taking a group of them.
Oh, I hate
Yeah.
And
those
then
ones.
and then right now I'm on the last step for like company leave quests. I already did 30 of the 200 company leave quests, which just means that you
Mhm.
gotta keep running them over and over and over. And
Mhm.
then I had to do turn-ins, which is honestly kind of easy because I already do them anyways. But because I don't do them frequently, because I take breaks after I finish an expansion, the
Mhm.
turn-ins after and during patch quest content is like slow. Like right
Yeah.
now I'm at 480 out of 500. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
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 I think I've
It's like-
wrapped up like all of the like specific to this Garen company stuff for my current Grand company. Like I think I've hit all of those
I have
achievements.
done that too, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I need to do like 10 more of the take your nerds into dungeons.
Uh-huh.
And like
I will say,
I should-
to its benefit, the take your nerds into dungeons, they suck when you start doing them, but after you get a few levels into them, like those like special like offensive, defensive, balanced whatever
Yeah.
levels, they get really good because they just get so tanky and beefy, and they hit so hard that it's just like, what are mechanics?
now I should switch grain companies at some point.
You
But
should. I would
found
say
out
that's the main reason why I do it.
I didn't realize that the Grand Company gear requires you to be part of that Grand Company, and I use a flame specific skirt in my Blue Mage clan, and I cannot find anything that looks nearly as good. So it's just like,
No.
man,
Dang it.
Oops.
it's like I don't even Blue Mage much right now, but it's just
Mhm.
like that. I'm happy with that glam. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But that skirt,
You should just switch it out for the same rank skirt or pants for the other ones.
Oh,
I don't
they're
even know
so
if it would match at
terrible for
all.
the
It'd
other
probably be
ones, though.
awful. But
I have like a specific like officer gear that I occasionally take in for like my lower
Mhm.
level stuff because that's just how I like it because it makes it look like I'm like an officer. And I usually take it to like lower level dungeons because that's where sprats are. And so sometimes they're like, "Wow, you're actually dressed up as an officer." I'm like, "Yeah, would you like some help?" It's like I can walk you through it like I'm an NPC. And some people are like, "No thanks," and or okay.
Yeah.
And that's all I need. I'm just like,
Oh,
okay,
that is
well,
really
if you
good.
need it, there it is. If you don't, whatever.
yeah, it's like the worst part is it's like it's not even the main skirt; it's the underskirt.
yeah.
Oh,
But
no.
it
You can't
adds
find a
so
substitute
much,
for
just
it?
like having the little dangling like coins and whatnot.
Yeah.
Huh.
That is really good. That's such a good and cohesive clam. Good work.
I'm real happy with that one. It's
Oh,
there's a
that's
lot
cute,
of
yeah.
claims I'm just really happy with. There's some that I just like kind of go back and forth about. Like I know my Bard glam is kind of I just kind of set it up as something at some point, and I really like the top for like its boob window. But
Uh-huh.
like overall, I'm never sure how I feel about the glam entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those just like I just don't play Bard enough to think about it. So it's
Yeah.
like it's not like see, I'm trying to think if there was anything in particular. It was just like I should really change this glam. Summoner for the longest time didn't have its own glam.
Yeah.
And it's just like taking forever to figure out. It's like, okay, what do I want this to look like?
I like making summoner glams, if only because they have like canonically the horn, and I love just picking up the horn and then going from there.
My summoner glam just has the glasses, and I like the dragon scale, like armor chainmail that I have for it. Hold on, let me just share my glamour real quick. I'm just taking a screenshot of my glam plate. But I don't hate the horn. It's just that the horn is literally the size of my head on my Lalafell, and it's just kind of a little too out there for me.
Yeah.
And
the horns are so good.
Out of all the
So
horns,
make me happy.
I really like the Aroma Born summoner horn, and I also really like the Shadowbringer summoner horn, because the Shadowbringer summoner horn is just the Aroma Born one without the headband.
Yeah.
I think it's that one. It's the one that's red and it just has a little like trim along it, and it's not like a super huge headband. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I really like the Shadowbringers artifact gear sets in general, because they feel like really, really good homages to the design of the old sets.
Yeah.
And it's just so good.
I just wish I had more like good looking ones too, because like
I usually go through phases where I essentially, when I get the artifact gear, I'll just wear that for a while, and that'll be like I won't even glam over it.
That's
I'll just
same with
vibe with it.
However, I did not like Summoner Glam this time around, so I did not wear it.
I don't know what it looks like, and I'm scared to ask.
The new Reaper coat for Dawn Trail is so good.
The Summoner one is I think it's like fur lined, and I didn't like that it looked like specifically like kind of tribal but fur lined sort of deal. It just wasn't vibing with me.
That's fair.
I'm gonna check the home base, and I actually want to try it out because I want to see how it looks like, especially because Lalafell's just everything looks different on a Lalafell. Like you take
everything looks
but you have to minus a third of it, and that's a Lalafell outfit.
I was
the entire torso is gone.
Before the second free what are they called? Fantasia came out. I used my Aroma Board one to Fantasia into a Hero, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to have clothes again. Like
I also changed it to your Hero, but I was also just I was bullied into it because I got tired of the Lalafell jokes in my FC.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh.
And I just couldn't handle it for the time being after so many jokes. Fair. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up just saying, you know what, I'm gonna switch to another rhythm race, and I ended up settling on Hero as well, a female Hero. And I was like, I don't hate her, but she doesn't, I don't vibe with her. She's not me. And I just like Lalafell. I played Lalafell since like when I first started, so it's like, why not? It's like, you know what, come, I like own it.
Yeah, I think around the time I finished Roma,
I feel like that about Mikote.
The Fantasia. It's like I considered trying out Femro Estrella, just because, you know, why not, even taller and also muscles. But then it's I never really got around to it, and now it's just like, no, she's like the lithe Elizin, even though Elizin don't have the abs checkbox in the character creator.
I just gotta be Mikote. That's just what I want. That's what I am. That's how I vibe.
Oh, I forgot.
She makes me happy. I was very scared they took away my fangs for a moment, but I think they brought them back after people complained they took it away in the Dawn Trail benchmark.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was just like they had like a weird teeth thing that they like. It wasn't even like a finished thing. It was like a
yeah.
They like
whatever. You're right. I like the summoner outfit. I'm taking it.
Yeah, it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with the summoner outfit. It just didn't vibe with me, and I was like, well, especially because I was wearing the Ravel Keepers set, which I liked a lot.
Oh yeah, that's true. But also this
is a very nice one.
I was gonna say, but it has double die channels though.
They did a new version of the Ravel Keepers casting glam that has 2 die channels now.
Dang it! I gotta check.
It is a new version of it. Yep. And that was my new favorite.
Check that. And the gloves are half gloves. Oh, I love that. I'll
Some of the
claim
dual
it.
die channels are so funny.
Oh my
'Cause
goodness!
it's
Yeah,
like-
they
Yeah.
just. But Yoshi P did warn us. He said, "Trust the team, trust the fashion instincts," and I'm just like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah, I know there's a few of them that it's just like, okay, there's the original dye channel that is this chunk, like this significant chunk of the outfit, and then there's the secondary dye channel, which is like the stitching, and not
yeah,
like
Yep.
the other major piece of the piece. It's
Yeah.
just like why is it the stitching? Why isn't it this entire other swath of color?
Well,
Yeah,
for the stitching
yeah.
part, you can make it if you make it a very contrasting stark contrast stitching. It actually shows up a lot better.
No, it's
Yeah.
In my
like
opinion.
you can do nice things.
Yeah,
it's just like
speaking of someone who
occasionally
did that
it's
with the Pink Ranger.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like I think the one that comes to mind immediately for me is the adventurer sweater, where it's like a sweater and a scarf.
yes.
Yeah.
But the main dye channel still covers both, and the secondary dye channel covers like a brooch that's on the scarf.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that
why not
one-
just make it the scarf?
They did a good job with the Astrologian for Endwalker, the gear set. They gave it second dye channel, and there was like this big swatch of it that was just red, and now you can change that one and the trim. And the trim's not the best change, but at least like you can change the giant contrasting color bit.
It's again, it's just like really funny to see
Uh-huh.
some of these dye channels where it's just like sometimes it's exactly what you want, sometimes it's like not what you would expect, but it's even better than what you would have thought, and sometimes it's just like the adventure sweater where it's like, okay, the sweater and the scarf are always synced, and you can change the color of the brooch. I guess it's like cool. That's not what I wanted, but all right.
Yeah.
Actually, the top that I was wearing today is another one of those that it's the color changes the vest and shirt, and they are linked. So like
see.
they
Nice
are.
when it
This is
has
the
rapid
default with
casting.
like the
That's the name
white
of it.
black.
Uh-huh.
But if you change it, let me actually have a screenshot. 1 second. Where are you? This one. It's like that's the red version of that same top.
Oh yeah.
And that's just like the secondary dye channel is the it's the buttons and like that
Yeah.
little brooch thing.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to
I don't know, like-
the benchmark, that's the word. Like the benchmarks with the previews, like I was really scared going into Dawn Trail. Just what like the hair that I use for Estrella and have basically since the end of A Realm Reborn, like they pulled some vertex out and like moved it really far away from where it was originally, because it's like the hair clips through the ear and it's fine. It just looks like the hair is going over the ear, but it technically clips through it. So they like pulled the vertex back, and they pulled it back like really far. So it was just like you have this weird bald spot around the ear now.
Oh.
And that was benchmark 1. In
Ooh.
benchmark 2, it looked like they deleted that vertex, so there was just like an open hole in the model, and you could see like the back of the back of the head through this hole in the hair, and it was just like, oh no. And then it's like, okay, first thing I'm doing in Dawn Trail, load it up, do a big turnaround, look at this chunk of hair, and it's fine. Like they
That's
did
good.
get that vertex like nice, and I'm zooming in on it on stream real quick. Like they still moved it a little bit back to make it clip less with the ear. I can get closer than this. So it's like they brought it back so it clips less with the ear, but then they also like it was so far back. Like it was like I have cursor in position. It was so far back from the ear. It was wild.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
And like ultimately, nope, she looks great. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Good.
So it's just like, hooray. my Elzen did not get hit with the with like I think male Elzen were one of the most widely impacted races for just like the features were rounded out and less sharp, and like that just really changed the vibe for a lot of characters. And I know over in Saren's Discord, somebody had to swap out what like they had to change because it was just like this just isn't the right face anymore. And it's just it's really unfortunate that that's happened, but it's like, you know, this all like frankly the team's done a great job, I think, in trying to maintain that parity while also improving the graphics and bringing up the poly count and all that stuff, and like trying to get the lighting to look the same, even though it's like, hey, we replaced the lighting engine, but we still want everything to look as close as it did previously. And excellent work. They have done excellent work. They've shown that they really care about, like, we know people care about their characters and we want them to continue enjoying their characters. We're going to do our best. Please look forward to it, I guess.
I mean, it's such a subtle change too, because I still barely notice it. Like sometimes it's pretty obvious, but other times I think it'll definitely become more obvious as they continue to go through and like upgrade the models on like gear and stuff, and upgrade like world models. But I think one change, I don't know if it was intentional, but one change that I noticed pretty quickly was that all of the Garlean's third eyes got the metallic sheen to it. Like they're shiny. Sometimes they're like super glossy, like silver. Like where before they were kind of like white, like a matte white. But now they're like a glossy silvery sheen. And I'm like, are they supposed to be like metallic, or are they supposed to be like, what are they supposed to be? So
they also never clarified why Lalafels have them, and I'm still waiting on an answer for that.
Oh. I always read that as just like a jewel piece that you just put on your head.
I thought so too, but it looks too much like... I don't know, it just looks weird. It just looks... It's in the same position as a Garlean third eye.
Yeah.
And if it was a jewel, why not put like chains on it? Because it literally looks like you just dabbled some glue and just stuck it on.
I mean, people do that. That's the thing people do, is they put like the forehead jewelry. But I don't know how they get it to
chains. Exactly. I'm like, but how though? The question for the world.
No,
I
it's
guess.
just like I think it's a bindi. There is actually a thing where people just put like a little jewel up there.
I guess, but also I'm waiting for more story on that. But on a more technical side of things, as we're talking about like artifact gears, I wish that the game allowed us to put all of our artifact gears in the armor.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because there should be no reason why it's in the glamour dresser. There's so much. There's more pieces there in my glamour dresser than there are in my armoire. Like it doesn't make any sense.
And then the worst part is if you upgrade the Realm Reborn artifact gear to make it dyeable, it can't go in the armoire anymore. Why?
I have the monk artifact gear in my glamour dresser, and I also have the dyeable version of my monk artifact gear I have the dyeable version in my glamour dresser, and I have the non-dyeable version in the armoire. Because I have both. Because you can just do that. Because if you don't have the item in your inventory, you can go to like the Calamity Salvager and just get it on another copy.
Yeah, it's even more of a reason that it should just go in the armoire.
Yeah, it should just go in there.
Yeah, and also same with the relic weapon. They can register a relic weapon by stages, just like how we track our relic state or relic tools and stuff in the armoire. Like, there's so much you could put in the armoire, but it's like, it's cash shop only items in there. I'm like, then give us a drop down tab.
Yeah, it's like cash shop items. It's seasonal event items.
Seasonal event items, which are just future cash shop items, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they could just separate
yeah,
to be instead of just like cash shop exclusive, event exclusive, artifact exclusive, relic exclusive. That's like where there you go. But I know a lot of people who spend money on like cash shop exclusive glam pieces, but most of them are event stuff. Like why can't we just put all of our if we can put all of our event items in there, then why can't we put our relic stuff in there?
Yeah. Part of the reason might be that the organization in the Armoire is really bad.
Yeah,
Since it's just like here's a single category and we just list all of the pieces.
Yeah.
In a row.
Almost never like look in my armoire for glam pieces because they're so annoying to access. And I spend money on this too.
Yeah. It's one of those things of like I will go through my armoire about every time I'm making a glam and look at all these pieces and just be like, man, none of this goes with anything. But then, like my Viper glam actually uses like the wristbands from the maid outfit, because they're just
nice.
they're just like a little like kind of floof of wristband, and it just makes it to where it's like it just breaks up how much skin is showing, because I'm also using like the Shisui Joy.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I used to have that too. Yeah.
I think the main reason I go to my glam is whenever I have to do something like there's like a like
this is the
summer events
one, right?
at the beach,
Yeah,
like a beach or a pool thing. Then I go throw on the swimwear from the summer event a few years ago.
My beachwear is mostly glam pieces, and then only one of them is from the summer outfit. The other ones are the one I actually have that's quote worth money is a Seabreeze Summer Perero. It's pronounced because that one you have to synthesize a specific fish in order to get that drop.
I got that one.
Yeah, it's a really good piece, but that's a problem.
Yeah, no,
the
summer
for it. I want the Eternal Summer glasses. I never bought it.
I know the summer event. I don't remember how many years ago it was now, but like they
that
had
bad as fish to catch.
These sandals that have like the kind of weird heel, but like I keep finding myself using them for glams because it's just like
the Summer Flame sandals.
Maybe it's what I'm using in my Summoner glam.
Oh, I know the Summer Sunset sandals.
Yeah.
That one is weird.
They go so well with anything that has straps down towards the bottom of the leg, though.
Okay, but here what it looks like for a Lalafell. I think this is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, not exactly the best flattering image of a Lalafell, unfortunately.
Yeah, it works really well for Elzen being a giraffe.
Another one for the wish it was the right race kind of look.
Yeah.
Man.
That's me and like everybody's like racial gear. I wish they would unlock racial gear so much. Like, I know the Makode skirt every once in a while. It's just like, oh hey, what's this person wearing? It's just like, oh, it's the Makode skirt. Damn it.
Same thing with the Elzen. I really want their shoes. I like high.
Oh no, the Elzen shoes are great. They are so good. They fit in. They will work as like I need something that goes with this long boot, this long legging, anything. Like they are a perfect filler piece when working on a glam.
A good substitute to those, if you're in the Gold Saucer, is the the thigh highs from the Ishgardian shoes. Those work as thigh high boots well. And my thing with thigh high boots is because I like them because Lalafells have no torso to compensate them for the lack of good pants. I just wear thigh highs to cover up most of the pants because shorts don't look good with them because of how they bulge and flare out sometimes. Skirts don't exist. Long skirts are really shape ugly on my legs, on my on her body, and I just don't like how it visually impacts her kind of look, and I don't really enjoy it. Like earlier, I showed my summoner outfit. That's just one piece. I don't have any pants underneath it other than like some shorts. I don't like how it looks framing wise, and I can't do anything about it. Unless I spend money on the cash shop and get like the schoolgirl outfit, then maybe, but nope. I am perpetually stuck. with not having a good like hip range for Lalafels. I don't know if Kirky feel the same way, but I definitely feel it, and I don't like it. I guess not. I'm alone in this.
Clearly, I'm the odd one out. I just use the 2B heals half the time.
Okay, so the 2B heals,
Yeah.
they're just too small. Like that's the problem for me, is that they
That's fair.
end up being too small, and they make Estrella's legs and like her ankles in particular just seem like they just don't fit the rest of her body. So I almost always avoid them, because it's just like it's just the ankle is just
because
like,
they had to foreshorten the legs to make the heels actually fit. Yeah, I know.
it's some amount of like the foreshortening and some amount of just like the ankles themselves are just like too thin, and it just like the bone structure looks wrong.
The problem with it is that the thigh to heel ratio on a Lalafell looks disastrous, so that's why I never wear it.
Yeah,
because the thighs are really wide, but the heel point is very short, and it just looks stubby. And Lalafels have very stubby feet, so like imagine the shoes that I showed there with just like from my heel to the floor. That's how short the heel is, and it's not flattering at all.
Over the struggles.
But
I mean, I am also playing female Mikote, and you know that they are in fact the one that has all the slut glams.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true, and I
like,
should go Mikote girl then, man. I don't know. I just feel like Lalafels are just easier for me to like make cute and not look slutty. But like
Lalas are also
Lalas have such great emotes. They are so powerful.
We do have great emotes.
Yeah, Lalas have character.
Yeah, like my favorite glam for Halloween is my Alice in Wonderland outfit, and it looks really cute because I have a little eating fork the size of me. And this is my Alice in Wonderland outfit. It's so cute. I just dyed the maid outfit blue, and that's it. And it looks so cute, especially if I do the whole like pose. It just works.
Yeah, the maid outfit just does not work on Estrella, I think. Like, it's really frustrating because it's like, I spent money on this, and it just never looks right. It always looks like it's just like too poofy or something in some directions. The colors are a little bit off. It's just like I can never really get it to work. It's like I use it for my gathering glam anyway, just because it's like, well, I paid for this, I might as well use it. But like I can never get like the core chest piece to like actually work in any sort of glam. It never seems to sit right.
If it makes you feel better, the the outfit, the design for Elizin, the Valentine item, does not look good on Lalafels. It's puffy on the top and short on the bottoms, which is basically how they would design an Elizin. So I am unfortunately like stuck with a very unflattering dress with the ruffled skirt and also the apron dress, which yes, I also spend money on. Did not look very flattering. I'm like, why can't my Valentine's Day outfit look cute? I'm waiting for them to actually come up with a better, like maybe if they just had like short sleeve instead of a long sleeve, maybe. But no. Like, okay, instead of like,
you know what the maid outfit does look good on? It looks good on Victor Guebles.
That's
true.
It works so great on Mikote. Male and female both.
Yep.
Shoot, I missed the opportunity to wear my Phoenix Riser suit, but at the same time, I don't think that would be dapper. It just makes me look kind of.
That's actually what I was gonna wear. That was absolutely what I was gonna wear. I had it all planned out, and then it was like, oh, we're doing dapper. Well, I guess we're doing this version of the Power Ranger suit. I even like took the effort because I didn't like not seeing my character's face to like find a way to set it up so the hat looked like it was a Power Ranger hat, but also looked like a summoner hat. Yep.
I will say, like, I feel like across the board, thigh highs are generally the go-to piece to have for all races.
This is true, but also thigh highs. It's
Yeah.
And also booze.
I am sad my Dragoon Glam has shifted slightly, and I've sacrificed exposed thigh for a skirt that flows better with the outfit, and I'm torn on whether I like do I actually like the skirt more overall, or do I want to get that little bit of exposed thigh in there, because that's always just like it's something I've almost always try to work into Asturia's outfits if I can.
Have you guys seen the Dances level 100 class gear?
Oh my
It
goodness.
is so
It's
good.
so good, and like
It's so good.
I think somebody was just like, this is pretty good, and then they did a metallic dye on it, and just like it's one of those, you know, the
The
here's
fact
the
that
thing,
it's
and then
got
just like
transparency.
yeah.
I don't know if anything else
Whoa.
has had transparency yet. I was like,
That's so
oh
good.
man, this is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
I'm
the
gonna
level
go run
100
over
like
and take a look at it.
textures
It's
look
so
really great.
good.
Oh my
It's
goodness,
so
yeah.
good.
Like I really like how velvety the red mage
Yes.
gear looks.
Yes. Like
Oh yeah,
they
it's a classic
really
look.
did do it. Like they went hard on like the texture.
Like look what our new
pattern.
graphics can do.
Yeah, it's like, this is
Wow.
what we were
Mhm.
doing this for. This is like, look, you're going to see it because it's your artifact gear. You're going to see
Mhm.
here's how good this can all look. This is
So
what these
Yeah.
upgrades are for. Look at
I
this
don't know, man.
material.
That velvet look scares me because it looks so real. I'm like, I hate working with velvet IRL. I'm like, ugh. But it really looks real. I'm like, ugh.
Then
We
like
look.
all of the gear in Dawn Trail that has like any sort of metallic like stuff that just kind of glitters. It's just like, man,
Mhm.
I see what you were doing here.
Let's see.
I love doing Crystal Tower on tank because I actually get to do like I get to do mechanics that shouldn't exist anymore. Like on
it's
the first on the Bone Dragon, pulling the skeletons off to the like the spokes of the wheel,
Mm.
so that they don't. Because if they're far away from each other, they don't tether, and if they don't tether, then they're slow. That means they run slow, or they have like heavy or whatever it is, and so they can't run to the Bone Dragon and they can't explode. But since everyone just kills them all stacked up where they are, they all tether together and they all get speed.
I did not know that. I've always
Yeah.
gotten in with
You did?
the Midgard summer strat of fuck it,
'cause-
just stand in the
everyone
center.
just fuck it now.
Oh my god!
But
Like when they
originally, the Crystal Tower raid had 2 tanks. So it's like the main tank would be tanking the thing, and all the other tanks would be around the spokes of the wheel, pulling the skeletons to the side.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how it was supposed to go. Whether
Yeah,
they
but no one
actually
does
did
that. That's why people still die to like the bones.
Uh-huh.
now that is
Like-
one of those things of just like every time I get into an instance and they pull the dragon north, it's just like, man, my uptime.
What uptime?
Oh, it's like I'm
It's
always
level 50.
I'm usually going
What
in as
uptime?
melee, so it's just like I just want to spin in one spot and hit all of the things and not have to like, okay, cool, you've pulled the dragon all the way north, so now I have to like hit the dragon. Now I have to go hunt down the skeletons because they're nowhere near here, and now I have to go all the way back to the dragon. It's like I just leave it in the middle. We'll live. I swear. All right. I think
Now I'm actually looking at all the class gear, man. Fudge. I really like the level 81 more.
Yeah, you gotta
unfortunately.
head out. Here's my
Oh.
shelf.
yeah, I need to
Alright.
grab some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Nice
Alright.
chatting with y'all.
Thanks
Yeah.
for
Right.
hanging.
It was nice chatting with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to chat.
All right. Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Hey, stream, you exist. I'm going to go get food. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks again to Dan and Calvi and Will for those raids. Hey, Kurt, how's it going? Wahoo. Got 3. We went 3 for 3 today. That's excellent. I'm excited. I will catch you some other time. Eventually, I don't know when I stream. Heck, October's coming, and I usually do spooky game nights on October. Maybe that'll happen. Anyway, I'm hungry. Y'all have a good one. Bye bye. Let me find the.